Hey guys, welcome. This is Moshe Frank with X Everyday People. This is actually going to be my first long-ish format overseas. It's our two first actually. My first overseas video call for X Everyday People. And until now, it's been strictly in person. I would have loved to in person, but you know we cannot in this case.
Circumstances. Yeah.
And it's my first longer format, so let's see how it goes. I'm excited here. So, Mando, tell us, is that what are you wearing? Is that are you wearing a bulletproof vest with bullets? What are you wearing?
So you got a K9 Magellite vest, and you got your just your basic mags, um, basic 5.56. That's it.
Or is that bullets for the dumb people like me?
It does have bullets. Yeah.
Got you. So you look like an army man. Are you an army man?
So I was an army man, yes, and now I've left the army.
Is it fun being an army man?
Is it sometimes? Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's horrible, but that's what it is.
So what's the highs and what's the lows?
The highs are when you're out with your friends on missions, and the lows are when you're cleaning toilets.
You're saying it's a package deal.
Yes, sir.
So you used to. I'm not sure where to start. Let's start from the beginning because it makes it more interesting. Where were you
Yeah.
born?
So I was born in Paris, and then at the age of 5, I left to London, grew up in London until 18, and then at 18, I drafted.
You drafted to the Israeli army.
Yeah.
Got you. Um, how long is the training?
So for my unit, I was in Seret Golani. So you have selection, which is a week, and then once you pass selection, you have a year and 4 months of training. When that year and 4 months, you learn um, open field, counterterrorism, all different sorts of shooting, missiles, explosives, navigation, a lot of things. And then after that, you're active until you finish your service.
Where were you stationed?
So I did Jenin during this was before the war. I did Jenin. That was the place where we were. It was you do 4 months mission, 4 months training. So it's like a chazara. Like when you go back to yeshiva, you learn with your chavrusa. Same thing. You do 4 months mission, and then 4 months you do a chazara. And then once the war started, I got called back. We were stationed first up north in Lebanon because that's where our profession is for Golani. And then we went to Khan Yunis, Zaytun, a few different places in Gaza.
Got you. Now, what percent of the time when you're stationed, the interaction with the locals, I guess in your case, the Arab population, is it friendly? Do you interact with them or are you in your own little planet?
You do interact with them because you do have to sometimes tell them things, or there is some sort of communication, but you do need to be wary. You do need to have your eyes out for anything that could happen, whether it be between you and the person or from some window or some rooftop or God knows where something could happen.
Right, because I think people assume that if you're in the military, and especially Israeli military, you're fighting all day. But a lot of it is just daily, normal life interactions, waiting for nothing, safety, right? Or
Yeah,
waiting for
so
orders.
it really depends what unit you are, what's the schedule, what's going on. But most of the time, if you're on a special forces, you're doing raids mostly every night, sometimes maybe 4 times a week, and then the rest of the time you're sleeping.
So
If you're not,
you're in
yeah,
special forces.
yeah.
Do you go shopping in their like supermarkets and the grocery stores and the restaurants, or not really?
What do you mean? What do you mean going shopping?
When you're in, let's say in Gaza, were you shopping in their stores every day, or not
There's
really?
nothing. No, no. When you're in Gaza, you do something called in Hebrew Beit Bagana, which is so. Let's say you have a territory to conquer to take control of. So you'll take control of that place, and then you'll stay in the house that you took control of. That will be your base of operation, and then from there you go outwards towards other missions, to more other raids, and then you move. You always move. So you stay in the house of the terrorist or in the house of the people that live there, where whoever live there. But most everything's broken, everything's smashed. There's nothing left. You can't. If you find food, you take food.
Gotcha. What percent of, I'm just doing from the outside, what percent of Gaza is still inhabitable versus uninhabitable?
I haven't been everywhere in Gaza, I can't tell you, but from what I've seen, it's most of it's gone. It's
Gone.
pretty, yeah.
So where are the people sleeping?
Where are they sleeping? Different areas, shelters, tents. You got the UN out there that are giving them hands, like these massive tents. But in terms of buildings and houses, 95%, maybe even more, is gone.
And just to clarify, before you blew up or went after these houses, they all knew most of them knew you're coming, and they used to like drop leaflets and stuff.
Do they know you're coming? They know. I mean, overall, they know you're coming because after what they did, they expected us to come in. Do they know exactly when? It really depends on the mission, depends on what's going on. Sometimes you do things quietly, sometimes you do make noise. Um, but there were leaflets like you were talking about. There were leaflets that were dropped.
Gotcha. So, after you left the military, what was your first job out of the military?
So I'm kind of limited what I can say in this area, but after that, I joined the governmental sector in the security world. I did a course called Course Akhid, which is the highest level school that you can do in the world of security in this country. They train the guys that protect BB, that protect the general. They're the equivalent at school of like the Secret Service. That school, I'm going to keep it quite brief. What happened there? It's a very professional school. You learn a lot. It's very strict, very professional. It's not like the army mentality, where the army is just to break you. There, it's to build you. And then I got sent to Moscow, where I did what I had to do there. And the reason I left is because I didn't like the governmental sector. I wanted to go in the private sector. There was more to gain from there.
Got you. And then after that, what did you do?
So after that, a lot of these jobs, whether you'd be in Africa or the private things like that, it's like who you know. So if I know a mate that was somewhere, I call him. He says, "Yeah, I know this guy that can get you into Africa," and that's how pretty much it works. So I called up a friend that knew another guy and got me into Africa. Within 2 months, I was in Africa working in West Africa. I did that for 8 months, and then the company closed down, and then the war happened. So I went to war and then I got back into Africa.
So in Africa, you worked for another company training people in security
Not in security, in war.
in
And how
war.
to,
Okay.
yeah,
Had to fight a war.
how to fight, yeah, how to be a soldier from the basics, from how to hold a gun, how to shoot, and how to zero your gun, different shooting positions, how to work in a team, how to do an ambush, um, your basics.
With today, with drones and technology, do you think soon hand-to-hand combat will be a thing of the past?
It's very rare that in a situation you'll find a hand-to-hand situation. It's rare. Now it could happen, but most likely won't. Now drones are very effective. We've seen between Russia and Ukraine, and I've seen it in Lebanon and in Gaza, very effective. Will Drones are the future, and they will limit your close quarter, your close interaction with the enemy. It's not going to take it out completely out of the picture, but it will limit it.
Because I mean, you still see people getting killed. You see Israeli soldiers getting killed. So obviously,
So a lot
that
of
it's
times what they do, because whether it be Hamas or Hezbollah, they're both cowards and they work like rats. So they've got tunnels. So they'll peek out their tunnel, shoot at you, and then run back in your tunnel. And then you're not going to go in straight away. It's a whole procedure with tunnel stuff. So it's not black and white. So either they'll do that or either they'll leave a mine. So sometimes when you have a drone, you can send the drone in, you check out everything, you have special drones to detect certain things, and then the drone will be able to tell you, not 100% sometimes, but it takes away a lot of danger for the soldier that's going in.
and the drones also operate as guns and bombs, or what? How does that work?
It could. It's not something that I really did. that much in terms of bombs and stuff. It's more for reconnaissance. You send out the drone for reconnaissance. Now there are units that do that stuff. Personally, I
What
didn't.
does reconnaissance mean?
Reconnaissance is just to you send out whether it be a man, a drone, whatever it is, just to see where the enemy is, what's going on, to collect information.
It's like spying or whatever you call it.
Yeah, I guess you can call that. Yeah.
Got you. Um, so then you trained military in Africa, West Africa, for
hmm
another company, and then what happened after that? I guess you went back to the war in Israel.
So I went back to war. I did 10 months of war, and then I got another opportunity to do Africa, different company, different country. So I said, let's do it. Why not? Let's leave this war. We had a break at that time. So I left, went to this company and did another 10 months I did there. It was good. I liked it. It was a good time. But then I decided, listen, I'm not moving forward. I need to help more people. I need to open my own company. So that's why I opened Bold Eagle Tactical.
Bald eagle.
Bold Eagle Tactical, yeah.
Is that because you're bald, or
But it's because I'm bold and it's because I like the bald eagle as a bird. I like the name, I like the sound of it. Both everything together kind of.
does Europe have bald eagles, or just America?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if Europe has any.
Got you. It's like the American symbol. That's I don't know. I'm asking. Um, cool. So now you open your own private company that trains civilians, governments, or commercial, or all the above.
So right now it's civilians. In the future there might be organizations that want to get their guys trained by us. It's not a problem. But right now it's civilians. Um and our goal, if we look at in the Jewish world, we accept everyone, but if we're looking for for the Jewish aspect, we are here to make the modern Maccabee. So that's the goal. We are here to make strong Jews that will respond and that will fight back if need be in a situation that things can happen. We also obviously we have non-Jews. We're not prejudiced. We have take everyone. But if I'm talking to a Jew right now that wants to come, my goal is to make you the modern Maccabee.
So you want to train people that they can defend themselves and not have to rely on other people.
No, they obviously rely on other people, but have the knowledge that if need be, you can respond.
Got you. So what do you? So now you're teaching. Do you teach on Zoom? You teach in person? What do you currently? What's your offerings currently? If I want to, let's say, currently the anti-Semitism around the world in the U.S. has picked up, and people definitely have fears. So, what are you offering to people, individuals, with your new company?
Okay, so because you're talking about the US, that is a good thing because in America, people can own guns in most states. So that is good. So obviously, you can go tomorrow to the store, buy your Glock 19, whatever it is, but you have no idea how to use it. So you would come to me and I would teach you. Not only would I teach you how to shoot, but I would teach you how to work in a team. And we also have simulations of shuls. So we have a wooden house that we call it the shul that we built. And we have scenarios that what happens if a terrorist comes in the shul, and it's happened before in America. It's happened before in other places in the world. So it is a real scenario that could happen again, and that's one of the things you'll learn with us. So once you have this knowledge that you come to Estonia, you go back to America and buy your gun, or already have a gun and know how to use it.
Gotcha. So you give an overall familiarity with self-defense, military level training.
Yeah. So we do three things we focus on: is mostly shooting, Krav Maga, and first aid. And within
Gotcha.
these three things, we divide it even more. So, for example, whether it be shooting, you'll learn the basics, then you'll learn how to work in a team. You do a little bit of CQC, which is close quarters combat, and then first aid, you'll learn first aid. Krav Maga, you'll learn methods that I've actually used, and that's the three things you'll learn in the 5 days.
So you're currently offering a getaway in Estonia for 5 days. That's Sunday to Thursday. What is it?
Sunday to Thursday, because I don't want to get Shabbat in. Sunday to Thursday, and you finish with the certificate. that you qualify the course. We also have kosher food. We're in touch with the Chabad of Estonia, so we do provide kosher food, hotel, 4 stars, transportation, insurance. You get the full package.
And what time does it start in the morning? What time does it end at night?
So it's probably going to start 7 or 8 in the morning. 8 in the morning, ends at 7 p.m. It's long days, but my goal is so I know people will have this as their concern that, oh, I'm not fit physically, or is he going to make me run, or is he going to make me carry things? That's not my goal. My goal is to teach you and to keep it professional. So even if you're not fit, if you don't work out on a regular basis, that's okay. You're here to learn. If I see that you're not capable, then we'll find something easier for you to do.
So a lot of it is learning how to shoot,
Hmm.
correct? And then you said Krav Maga and first aid.
Yeah.
Cool. So that's and you guys will mess it. And this, what's your Instagram website? What's your contact info?
So my Instagram is Bravo6631. That's the unit I was in, 631. And my website is boldeagletactical.com.
Got you. Do you also offer one-on-one courses online? Could people do like a one-on-one training?
So if your goal is tactical, if your goal is guns, if your goal is Krav Maga, stuff like that, online, I'm going to be honest, especially the gun stuff is not going to work. You may have the most amount of knowledge in theory, but if you don't do the practical, it's not going to help. So if you want online stuff, it's not going to be shooting. I can't teach you shooting online. You need to come with me, and but
What
I
could
can
you
teach. What can I
what
teach you? So let's say you're a guy. I'm also, I forgot to mention, when I was 16, I went to college in England, and I'm a qualified personal trainer. So I've had customers in the past that wanted to lose weight or gain muscles, and they were abroad, so we did it online together. So if that, let's say someone wants that, we can do that. But in terms of
what
shooting, it's not possible to do shooting
what
online.
about military strategy? That's something you could probably do online also, right? Or is that
Guys,
also in person?
what do you mean by military strategy?
I
Like,
don't know. You said you train military, so
yeah,
you
but
do
all these
strategy.
things
It's
is
more.
practical stuff. I need to see how you are under pressure, how you
Gotcha.
are with the team. I can tell you A to Z, but if you don't put it into practice, it doesn't help.
Got you. Very cool. Um, what is the hardest part of shooting a gun?
What is the hardest part in shooting a gun? Sometimes frustration and a lot of patience. People think that they can. People think that if, let's say, they get the best lasers and the best sights and everything, then that will make them a good shot. You need to learn the basics of the basics. That's the iron sights. Once you know the iron sights and you get good at it, then you can move up. So people can get frustrated and think, okay, I'll take a day, I'll take 2 days. But it's just practice, practice, practice. And most of the time, what gets you really good at shooting is doing dry fire. Not the actual shooting, doing dry. Just the movement with your hands, your pistol, your rifle, just the movement again and again and 1,000 times if need be, and then you'll get very good at the real stuff.
So you're just shooting blanks?
So sometimes I'll be honest. When we're doing Estonia, we'll do 2 hours of dry, and that's to be honest, that's not that much. When I was in the army, I didn't shoot for 2 weeks, just doing dry every day, just dry, and until you do it with your eyes closed in the middle of the night, middle of a nightmare. That's how you need. It needs to be second nature for you, and then you start shooting, and then once you see, wow, I did all this blank, I did all this dry fire, now I'm very good at shooting. How come? Because you did the basics.
So just shooting with just with your finger on a gun, pulling the
Well,
trigger. Is that what dry fire
there's
means?
no. So I mean, it does mean that, but it's more to it. It's getting the right body position. Let's say you're shooting on the ground, so getting the right body position, your legs, your breathing. Your breathing is very important. Where do you place the trigger on your index? There's a position. How do you pull the trigger? Certain way. You have to do it slowly until you hear the click. There's a lot of things that go into it, and then once you get very good at the basics, then you'll get very good at shooting.
Interesting. Do you need to be fit to shoot, or it helps, or it doesn't make a difference?
Does it help? Yeah, if it being it helps, but do you need it? No, no.
How many hours a day are you in the gym?
Uh, I train maybe 4 times a week,
For how long?
45 minutes to an hour.
That's it.
That's it. It's not that much. I found that recovery makes more gains than doing more. Sometimes doing less is doing more for gaining muscle.
What about for losing weight?
For losing weight, you need a caloric deficit. You need to eat less than you need, then you'll lose weight. That's the basics of losing weight.
What about cardio?
Cardio is a good form. There's many forms of cardio. You can do walking, you can do treadmill. I'd say your best form is actually walking. Just it's not hard. You just walk in the street, and that will over a long time. If you want to gain muscle and lose weight and lose fat, you can do that walking and lifting weights, and you'll be very good. You'll be lean and you'll be very big.
Lifting weights and walking. Not running?
Now you could do running, but if you do running and lifting weights, um, running isn't the best for building muscle. If your goal is building muscle, then don't really put them together. You could, but it's not primal. It's not the best. If your sole goal is gain muscle, then don't do running.
So I lost about, I don't know, 30, 40 pounds recently just playing basketball 5 times a week and
Hmm.
eating better.
Okay, that's good.
But I don't think playing basketball will build my muscle, right?
It build endurance. It build resistance. It build cardiovascular strength. Did it build muscle? Well, I'm sure it did, but is it made for building muscle? No.
So you have to lift for that.
If you want to gain muscles, you have to lift weights. Or I mean, it's not have to, but it's the best form.
Very cool. So if you want to get a 5-day crash course in self
Yeah.
defense, first aid, hand to hand, but primarily focus on shooting, an intense 5-day experience with all inclusive hotel, food, 3 meals a day. How many meals? 3 meals?
3 meals a day. Yeah.
Then you should reach out to Mendel. What's your what was your socials again?
So my Instagram is brother6 at 631. It's the unit I was in, and then my website is Bold Eagle Tactical.
Can you tell some interesting stories with you in Africa?
Africa. You got to watch out of snakes and you got to watch out of mosquitoes. That's two things which are very dangerous out there. And a lot of funny stories. And you can be in the middle of taking a shower, and all of a sudden there's no more water. That tends to happen. Or you can be on a phone call with someone, and boom, no more electricity for 3 days. But whatever it is, what it is happens. That's Africa.
Wow. Did you work with mines or just governments directly?
No, not nothing to do with mines.
Just teaching military for privately for
Teaching
government.
teaching people how to kill other people.
You said it pretty simply.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And I mean, these countries are developed. They don't have like in-house military training anyway. Like these countries have been around for 50 years,
Africa
100 years.
Africa, some places are like 1,000 years back. I've been to places in Africa so deep that these people don't even know what electricity is. Um, there's some places which is very not has no idea what's going on with the world. People are back on camels and going to the well to get water, and it's primitive. And there's some places which are more modern. But if you would have to compare Africa to Europe, then good luck. It's far from normal.
And what language you communicating with these people?
I spoke French because they spoke French. I speak French.
Oh, so that helped you get expand your client base.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, very interesting. Okay, thank you so much, Mendel, for the info.
No
Let our
problem at
followers
all.
know. I guess I learned a bit. I probably, if I learn more, I need to have to show up to your 5-day course. But it's cool. It's like if you have fear, you want to learn self defense, you want to do a fully immersive program, and it's kosher.
Hmm.
Then full in, not just a one lesson here Sunday and then a 6 months later show up again. To do it all, pack it in a heavy punch, no pun
Exactly. Yes.
intended, it sounds like a great option. You have
Mhm.
great background, great experience, and you seem like a decent guy so far.
Thank you.
Um, and check you guys out. Thank you so much.
Yes. All right.
All the best.
Bye bye.